Tanya stood still in the driveway, her eyes locked on the shiny red SUV parked right in front of her. It looked brand new, flashy, loud, something she would never buy. Her heart started to race. She pulled out her phone with shaking hands and opened her banking app. The screen loaded slowly, too slowly. Then the number stared back at her. 0. Her house savings account, the one she'd been building for 7 long years, was empty. Her chest tightened. She couldn't breathe. Her legs moved before her mind caught up, taking her into the house. Bianca stood in the living room, holding the car keys like a trophy. She was smiling, proud. "Surprise," Bianca said, walking toward her. "I did this for us." Tanya froze. She blinked, her voice caught in her throat. Bianca laughed. "Come on, don't be mad. I used the money to lease it. I mean, we both needed a little luxury, right?" Tanya's lips parted, but no sound came. She finally whispered, "You used my house money." Bianca rolled her eyes. "It's not just your money. We're family. You always say we have each other's backs. I thought you'd understand." Tanya's face went pale. Her hands dropped to her sides. "I've been saving for years," she said, voice low. "Working overtime, skipping vacations, living small, all for a home." Bianca shrugged. "It's just a car. We'll figure it out. Don't be so dramatic." Tanya took a step back, then another. The walls seemed to close in. Her ears rang. Without a word, she turned and walked outside. The air was heavy, but she kept walking, past the car, down the sidewalk. Her face was blank, but inside everything was screaming. The betrayal hit like a wave, crashing hard. She had trusted Bianca. Again. This time it was different. This time something broke. Tanya had always been the quiet one, the one who didn't complain, the one who kept things together. Growing up in a small house with her mother and younger sister, life was never easy. Her father left when she was 10, and from that moment on, everything fell on her shoulders. Their mother, Helen, worked when she could, but most of the time it was Tanya who picked up the pieces. By the time she was 16, Tanya was already working part-time jobs after school. At night, she'd help with homework, make dinner, and clean up after everyone. She gave up dances, parties, even college dreams. All so Bianca could have a normal childhood. Bianca was different, loud, beautiful, always the center of attention. People loved her, even when she didn't try. She never stayed in one job for long, never worried about rent, groceries, or bills. Somehow, Tanya always fixed things. Their mother didn't hide her favoritism. "Bianca's just young," she'd say when Bianca messed up. "She'll grow out of it." And when Tanya got tired or frustrated, Helen would say, "You're stronger. She's delicate. Let her enjoy life while she can." So Tanya kept going. She worked nights as a nurse and took extra shifts whenever possible. She skipped vacations. She cut her own hair. She said no to everything she wanted, just to save a little more each month. She had one dream, to buy her own home, a small, quiet place, somewhere she could breathe, somewhere she didn't have to walk on eggshells or play the role of caretaker every second. That dream kept her going. At work, Tanya tried to stay focused, but lately, she'd been different, distant, quiet. Marcus, her co-worker, noticed. He was calm, kind, always offering help without pushing too hard. One evening after their shift, as they walked out to their cars, he asked softly, "You okay? You've seemed off." Tanya forced a smile. "Just tired. Long week." He didn't press. "If you ever want to talk, I'm around." She nodded, but inside, the sadness was deep. She had spent her whole life being there for others, but who was really there for her? She didn't know it yet, but everything was about to change. Tanya sat on the edge of her bed for a long time before calling Bianca downstairs. Her hands were cold, her heart beat fast. She didn't want to fight, but she needed answers. Bianca walked in, still smiling, holding her phone. Tanya stood up. "You used my savings." Bianca didn't flinch. "Yeah, I did, but it's not like I stole it. I thought we both could enjoy the car." Tanya stared at her. "That money was for my house. 7 years, Bianca. 7 years of saving." Bianca rolled her eyes. "I know, but I've been struggling too, okay? You get to be this perfect nurse with your steady job. I'm always trying to catch up. I just wanted something nice for once. You knew what that money was for." Bianca crossed her arms. "You're always the boring one. You save, you work, you don't live. I thought I deserved something, too." Tanya's throat tightened. "So you punished me for being responsible?" Before Bianca could answer, Helen walked in from the kitchen. "What's going on?" Tanya looked at her mother. Bianca used my house savings to lease a luxury car. Helen frowned, but not at Bianca. It's just money, Tanya. Don't make this into something ugly. Tanya's mouth opened in shock. You're taking her side? She's your sister. You've always been the strong one. Help her out. You'll get the money back. Tanya felt like the floor had disappeared under her feet. All the memories, the sacrifices, the years of being brushed aside. It all hit her at once. No, she said, shaking. No, I'm done. You both don't see me. I've given everything. And now, I have nothing left. Neither of them said a word. Just silence. Cold, empty silence. Later that night, Bianca posted a photo with the car on social media. She wore sunglasses and a fake smile, standing next to the red SUV with the caption, "Success tastes sweet." Tanya saw it and nearly dropped her phone. Her chest hurt, her vision blurred. She couldn't breathe. At work the next day, she could barely focus. She dropped a tray of medical files, spilled coffee on herself and missed a meeting. Her boss, Mrs. Ellis, called her in. "You've been distracted lately. I need you to get it together," she said firmly. Tanya nodded, holding back tears. But inside, she was falling apart. She started waking up at night with panic attacks. She would sit in the dark, shaking, her hands over her face. The worst part wasn't the money. It was knowing they didn't care. Not even a sorry. Not even a pause. Just silence. Tanya packed her things quietly one night while everyone was asleep. Just a few bags, some clothes, her documents, and the photo of her as a little girl holding her first school award. Back when her mom used to say she was proud. She didn't leave a note. She moved in with her co-worker Leah, who had a spare room. Tanya didn't talk much. She just went to work, came home, and sat in silence. Leah didn't ask too many questions, just made sure she had food and a clean space to breathe. At work, Tanya was quieter than usual. She did her job, but avoided small talk. Even Marcus noticed. "You're still not okay," he said one day during lunch. "You're here, but you're not here." Tanya nodded, but didn't explain. A few days later, her phone buzzed. It was Bianca. "Bianca, hey, I messed up. I crashed the car. The insurance won't pay out. Bianca, can you please help? It's in your name. I didn't mean for it to go this far." Tanya stared at the messages and turned off her phone. Later, a message came from her mother. "Helen, this is still your family. You don't walk away from family. Be the bigger person." Tanya cried that night, silently into her pillow. She wasn't angry anymore, just tired. Deep, soul-level tired. Marcus noticed the change. One afternoon after work, he gently asked, "Have you ever thought about talking to someone? A therapist, maybe?" At first, Tanya resisted. Therapy felt like admitting weakness, but something in her had already started to shift. The part of her that wanted peace was getting louder. She made an appointment. In therapy, things started coming out. She talked about her father leaving, about always being the strong one, about cooking dinner at 12 years old, about her mum telling her, "You'll understand when you're older." She realized she had spent her whole life believing she wasn't allowed to feel tired, or angry, or hurt, that love had to be earned, that her only value came from fixing other people's messes. One evening, Leah walked in holding an envelope. "This came for you," she said. Tanya opened it. Her heart dropped. It was a notice from the loan company, a missed payment, a warning, but she had never taken out a loan. She called the number. After a long, tense hold, the truth came out. The luxury SUV was bought using her name. Bianca had forged her signature. It wasn't just stolen money now. It was credit fraud. She hung up the phone slowly, her hands ice cold. Debt. In her name. All because her sister wanted to drive something flashy. Tanya couldn't breathe. That night, she didn't sleep. She sat at the kitchen table, staring at nothing for hours. In the morning, she put on a clean shirt, tied her hair back, and walked into the local police station. Her voice shook, but she spoke clearly. "I need to report someone for identity theft." The courtroom was quiet. Tanya sat still, her hands folded tightly in her lap. Her lawyer gave her a small nod, but her heart was already racing. Bianca sat across the room, dressed neat and calm, but her eyes kept darting around. She looked nervous for the first time. The judge entered, and everyone stood. Then the hearing began. Bianca's lawyer spoke first, trying to explain things gently. "She made a mistake, Your Honor. This is a family matter. These two sisters have history. There was no evil intent, just poor judgment." Bianca stood up. Her voice cracked. "She's my sister. I didn't think she'd go this far. I thought we could fix it, just between us. This isn't some crime story. It's family." The judge raised a hand. "That may be true, But this court deals in facts, not feelings. Then it was Tanya's turn. She stepped up to the witness stand. The room felt too warm. Her palms were sweaty. But when she opened her mouth, the words finally came. Strong, steady, and clear. "I've been silent my whole life," Tanya said. "I raised my sister. I took care of my mother. I worked nights, holidays, birthdays, all to save for a home. My dream was small, just a place where I could rest and feel safe. Bianca took that from me." Her voice wavered slightly. She looked at Bianca, then back at the judge. But it wasn't just the money. It was everything before that. The way I was always expected to clean up the mess, to stay quiet, to be the strong one. I was never allowed to break down, never allowed to say no. She paused, breathing through the lump in her throat. When I finally said no, they called me the bad one. The judge nodded slowly. "Thank you, Ms. Jordan." After a short break, the judge returned with the verdict. "Bianca Jordan, you have been found guilty of credit fraud and identity theft. This is not a private family matter. This is a legal one. You will serve 12 months of probation, complete mandatory counseling, and pay partial restitution to Ms. Tanya Jordan." Bianca gasped. "What? That's not fair. She's making me look like a monster." But the judge had already turned the page. Bianca looked around, expecting someone, anyone, to defend her. No one did. The mask fell. For the first time, she realized no one was coming to save her. Tanya walked past her as she left the courtroom. They didn't speak. Helen stood in the hallway, arms crossed, lips tight. She didn't say a word to Tanya, didn't look at her, just turned and walked away. Tanya didn't follow. This time, she walked in the opposite direction. Tanya started over, one small step at a time. Her credit was still damaged from what Bianca did, and some days were harder than others. But there was something new in her life now. Peace. A quiet, steady peace she had never known before. She applied for a new job in a nearby city, a hospital with better pay, kinder staff, and a fresh environment. When she got the offer, she cried. Not because she was scared, but because she finally felt ready to go. Marcus helped her look for apartments. He drove her around on weekends, helped her carry boxes, and stayed late to help her set up her little living room. One afternoon, as they unpacked the last of her kitchen items, Marcus handed her a small houseplant. "To bring life into your new space," he said with a smile. She laughed, a real, soft laugh. "Thank you." In therapy, Tanya made more progress. She spoke about her childhood, her fears, and the guilt she had always carried. One day, after a long pause, she looked at her therapist and said, "I'm not broken. I just stopped carrying what wasn't mine." It was the first time she truly believed it. On weekends, she started a blog, just for herself at first. She wrote about her story, her healing, and what it means to walk away from family that hurts you. Slowly, other women started finding her posts. They wrote to her, saying, "This feels like my story." Tanya felt less alone, and so did they. One morning, her phone lit up. A message from Bianca. "Bianca, hey, I've been thinking. Can we talk?" Tanya stared at the screen for a long time. She didn't reply. She didn't get angry. She just blocked the number. No message, no drama, no explanation. Just a door gently, firmly closed. For once, Tanya chose herself. Tanya stood outside her new apartment with a few boxes in her arm. The sun was setting, and the sky was painted with soft orange and pink colors. She took a deep breath. The air smelled fresh, different. A little boy rode by on his bike, slowing down as he passed. "Are you moving in?" he asked, smiling. She smiled back. "Yeah, first time living alone." "Cool," he said, then rode off down the street. Tanya watched him disappear, then looked up at the building in front of her. It wasn't big or fancy, but it was hers. It was quiet, safe. She blinked, and tears filled her eyes. Not from pain this time, but from relief. She walked up the stairs, opened the door, and stepped inside. The place was still mostly empty, but it felt full of possibility. She set the boxes down and closed the door behind her. The lock clicked gently. In her heart, a voice whispered, "Sometimes freedom isn't loud. Sometimes it's just a door that locks behind you and peace that doesn't ask for permission." Thank you so much for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories. See you next time. Bye.